Well, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, the 11th of July. It's very quiet here, and it's been a bit of a sad weekend, but we won't go into that. And the reason why it's so quiet is because there's no one here. Well, there is, but there's not very many people here.
Yeah.
So
I'm here. Emma's here.
Emma's here,
Hello.
and and what and I won't go into too much on this short program, but it's been a bit emotional for us
Yeah.
all here,
Bereavement.
and here them and now.
Yeah. So Barry's right. So I'm sure everyone has experienced the loss of a loved one, and that's what me, Barry, and other staff and residents of Thrive have experienced recently. So the best advice for anyone is to just keep yourself busy. And like me and Barry, we went to the dog park yesterday, which was nice. So just think of what your lost loved one would want you to do. They'd want you to be happy. And being happy is always going out.
And it's like I've said in many of the videos that I have brought to you since I've been here. Email your site manager, here them and now.
Yeah, Barry's right. So if you're feeling distressed, definitely let your manager know. If they're in the building, ask to speak to them, or if they're not around, send them an email, or just talk to your staff that help you. Talk to anyone really, because always talking to someone helps you.
So don't bottle anything up, guys. This is not good. Hear them and now.
Yeah, Barry's right. Definitely don't bottle up your emotions, because what happens is you just dwell more and more into negative thinking, and that affects you not mentally but physically as well. So go out, enjoy yourself, and just remember that your lost loved one would want you to be happy.
And remember, go to the places where you went with them as well. And eat and drink in remembrance of them. Hear them and now.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Barry. I never thought of that. I should probably go to the places where my grandma used to go, because, it's a nice warm feeling you get and it brings up nice memories. So, yeah, go to places where you and your lost loved one enjoyed going, and just, go out and be with people, because it definitely helps.
Like yesterday, I went to a magnificent dog park that Emma told me about,
Yeah,
and we had a beautiful lunch there.
yeah.
Hear them and now.
Yeah, so we went to Rob Acres Dog Park, which is in Strathpine. It's really beautiful there. There's a creek. We should have done more exploring, but I took my dogs there, and my dogs ran around with other dogs. We had a lot of fun. We had a nice chop suey lunch.
Thanks to Tina.
Yeah,
So, guys, remember, if you dwell on what has happened in the past, no, you're not doing any favors. Hear them and now.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Because think about, what good does it do to just stay in your room and, feel sorry for yourself? Because if you have that attitude, like, oh, if only my lost loved one was here, I'd feel better, you just make yourself feel worse. And just remember what that person would want. They would want you to be happy. And to be happy is to do the things that you enjoy doing.
So, remember, guys, it is okay to feel sad and upset, but remember, don't just sit in here pretending that it's all gonna heal overnight, because it's a process. Hear them now.
Yeah, Barry's right. You can't just get over it right away. It's absolutely normal to feel sad when you lose a loved one. But, you know, like with anything, within time, it too shall pass.
So, guys, what Emma and I would like to say as we conclude this early morning video, what time is it?
The time is 8:32 a.m.
At nearly 25 to 9. We would like to encourage you, for those that have lost loved ones, is to think not nice thoughts. They may be gone, but they will always be with you in spirit. Hear them now.
Yeah, Barry's absolutely right. So, whenever you lose a loved one, always think of the nice memories that you had with that person and remember what they would want you to do with your life, and that's to be happy.
So at nearly 25 to 9, we will continue this later today. Beautiful day out there.
Yeah.
So don't just sit in your room and think that there's nothing that you can do, because Emma and I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Okay? Get in your car, pack some lunch, buy some fish and chips and eat it on the beach. Hear them and now to close the show with that.
Yeah, so just to recap everything. So if you've lost a loved one, it's normal to feel sad, but just remember it's not healthy to just stay inside and bottle all up your emotions. It's good to get out. I love being outdoors, so take your dog to the dog park, go to the beach, just enjoy yourself and just remind yourself that your lost loved one would want you to enjoy your life.
And maybe do a video about where you are.
Yeah.
And eat some good food too.
Yeah.
Listen to some music. Hear them and now.
Yeah, listening to music can really boost your mood. Reggae music is good. It relaxes yet also energizes you. Listening to music, watching movies, reading books, just keeping your mind occupied always helps.
So we will continue this later today, but until I see you again on the next show, have a great morning.
Have a good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 26. Barry here with you, and Mark. Welcome back, Mark.
Thanks, Barry. Good to be back.
Well, today's topic is talking about how shocking disabled taxis are. Here's Mark now.
Yeah, we've had numerous occasions now where we've had to wait for literally hours beyond the time from which we've booked a taxi. We might book a taxi for 2:30 in the afternoon at 10:30 in the morning, and eventually a taxi might turn up at 4 o'clock after multiple phone calls, etc. And it does leave people who need these particular services just completely stranded. And it's not like they have other options. So it's a diabolical situation for Barry when you literally cannot plan anything because the transport options are so, I suppose, thin on the ground is the first thing. And the second thing is, the recognition that they're all private contractors and they have to work when they can get it. And they can't sort of sit around and say no to fares for an hour while they wait for another one to come up. And it's just creating a diabolical situation for those people that need the services.
So, if you've got a disabled son or daughter, guys, book your cabs in advance. Here's Mark now.
Yes, I have to admit, whilst that's probably the only thing you can do to create some kind of certainty, it hasn't proven to be a particularly effective method of achieving the outcome for us. It doesn't seem to matter whether we book well in advance, including the day before. People just don't turn up.
So you may recall on episode 21, we were stuck out at Scarborough. Here's Mark now.
So we were stuck at Scarborough because we'd booked a taxi that didn't turn up, and when we made multiple inquiries, wasn't going to turn up. So we ended up booking a taxi with a different group, which eventually turned up. And, but we were sitting and waiting for an hour and a half to make our exit. So it makes it difficult to plan.
So today it is very quiet here. Like I said in the early video today, I am the only person here at the moment, but I won't go into that. Okay, because like on Friday I was given some sad news, and here's Mark.
I'm assuming you're referring to NDIS not agreeing to pay for your move.
No.
So, a very distinct spanner in your works, given that your plans had actually progressed.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's something else. But I won't go into that on today's show. But under the circumstance, the show must go on. Here's Mark.
I'm always amazed at your dedication to getting the show out, Barry. And I'm also quite in awe of the fact that you managed to control your anger and disappointment and managed to always work on the upside.
Instead of on the downside.
Yeah.
So, you may recall that also I was coughing on episode 21 of this show. Here's Mark.
Yes. Yeah, well, you were coughing a little bit at the start of the day, but certainly by the end of the day, you looked under the weather and you were coughing and sniffly and clearly affected by some illness, which transpired that you had COVID.
And as soon as I got in the door that Monday night, that's what happened. Straight got the text. I will pause that and welcome back. This is a very emotional day for us here today. And here's Mark.
Yes, I've just been told that one of Barry's housemates has very unexpectedly and unfortunately passed away. And it's extremely sad and very unexpected. And it's left a significant hole in your life and the people that are around you, and of course it makes the mood very somber, and the house is very sad at the moment.
But we won't go into any more detail about that because I am feeling quite all over the shop at this moment. But just before the break, we were talking about how shonky the cats were.
Yes.
I'll just pause that again. So like we said, the Queensland taxis are shocking here at this moment. And drivers picking what job they want to do. Here's Martin Reed comments our show with that.
Yes, it's. I think it's partly a situation created by disruptors. Disruptors have a very interesting take on the world. As long as it suits them, it's all good. But unfortunately, those businesses that have disrupted taxi services do not fill any of the specialist gaps. And of course, they devastate the business of all the taxis. So those taxis that are specialist taxis are much more likely to have to take non-specialist fares. So it does leave the people that require specialist services with a very diminished service.
So, like we said before the break, we were waiting to come back from Scarborough, and it was horrendous. Here's Mark now.
Yes, it was. Well, we waited an hour and a half beyond the time that we'd booked before the taxi came up, and it was. Well, it creates a bad situation because we were just stuck out in the sun waiting and hoping, and of course, there's no reporting back about when you might be likely to have someone turn up. It's just take a booking and hope. So, it did leave us. We weren't really stressed.
I was
annoyed, and you weren't well, which didn't help the situation. You were flagging quite bad, like you could tell that you were very tired and struggling to, I suppose, just be comfortable.
Yeah. And the total fare came to $77. I remember that.
Yes.
Here's Mark now.
It's not the biggest fare that we've had, as we said. They do tend to some trips are astounding. The day we went into the city, it was $85 to get there, and they ended up turning the meter off at 90 something dollars on the way back when we voiced our displeasure at the fair. And there was still, well, we were on the Gateway motorway at that point, so there was still a fair bit of driving to get back to the house. The fare would have well and truly topped $100, which I find extraordinary that it can cost, better than 50% more to do exactly the same trip in reverse.
So, if you've got a disabled son or daughter, guys, book your cab in advance or get a train or bus. Here's Mark.
Well, it'd be nice if you could get to the public transport without then still needing to get a taxi to get from station to house, but it does sort of leave you in the same predicament, doesn't it?
It does a bit. So, on Thursday, I got a cab to Bray Park Station and we went on the train to South Bank, and it was good. Here's Mark now.
Well, we haven't, you and I haven't done that trip yet where we've gone on public transport, but I'm sure South Bank would have been a great spot to go on.
It was. And the rule when you are catching a taxi, be respectful to the taxi driver. Here's Mark.
Well, that's your general rule in life, Barry. Be respectful to everyone. So, and whilst the situation can be difficult, to be perfectly honest, it's not the taxi driver's fault when they turn up an hour and a half late. So, it's circumstance of business and the way it's done.
But never, and we repeat, never, ever abuse an operator on the phone. Here's my offside.
It won't end well. It's a situation that comes about by circumstance. It's not any individual's fault, and abusing the operator usually will end in no taxi turning up at all.
Well, termination of the phone call to start with.
Yes.
So today we are going to continue our show on a positive note, okay? Because as I said, it is a sad start to the week, but we won't go into that. Here's Mark.
Yes, it's unfortunately a part of life. We need to carry on, and it's very sad, but you need to continue living your life.
So, I think we will go somewhere via the beach and continue our show there. So, like I've said, the show must go on. Here's Mark.
All right, well, must be time for us to brave ordering a taxi and head out, and because it is a stunning day outside. Bit crisp for me, but the sun's shining, it's glorious, and we'll just rug up.
So, just before we do continue today's show, how my illness started. Well, as I've just said, we were out at Scarborough, okay? And I was not well. That was on episode 21. Here's Mark now.
Yes, and between us, between that day and then testing positive, it must have been you tested positive on the Tuesday, because then your isolation didn't finish until the following Tuesday, which meant we missed our trip out, the Monday after you got sick. And then the Monday after that, I got sick. And on Tuesday, I tested positive. And so then we missed the following Monday as well. So it's been some weeks since we've been able to catch up, and all due to your COVID, then my COVID.
So, nobody knows how I got it, but I was certainly not very well that night. Here's Mark now.
Yes, I'm not surprised. You were very
Raspberry. And you call it here.
raspberry.
Or raspberry.
Oh, rasping. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and it looked to me like when I finally caught it, it had been nearly 2 weeks from when we'd been together before I got sick. It had been 12 days. So, like you, where you say, you don't know where you got it, and then I don't know that I could have got mine from you, given that it was 12 days later before I got sick. But if I didn't get it from you, I don't know where I got it. So that seems to be the way.
So, we're going to close the show now. So, continue our show out of the studio. Let's try and order a naughty taxi and see whether they turn up.
All right.
So,
Wish us luck.
Wish us luck. 1-3 cats, they don't get us there. So, see you out on location, guys. Bye-bye. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our show today. Here we are at Scarborough once again, and this is a much better Barry Fair than on episode 21. Now, do you remember on episode 21 when I wasn't well? Yep. Well, here's Mark to tell you about it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barry. Yes, well, last time we came and you were in the early stages of your COVID infection, and it just kicked off, and then you progressively went downhill as the day continued. So by the time we actually got away from here, you were under the weather, so to speak.
And so, before we brought the last program to you, and I was not very well then, but that is all in the past now. Focusing on today, look at that marvelous view on Deception Bay. Just look at that, guys. Just look at that. Wouldn't you like to wake up with a view like that? Here's Mark with his opening view on this.
Yes, it's a beautiful view across Deception Bay to the Glasshouse Mountains and areas north of Brisbane. So from here we can see a bit of Bribie Island and coastline moving north. So yeah, it's a gorgeous day for being out and about.
So, like I said back in the studio, we had a bit of a tragedy over the weekend, but we won't spoil our day with that. So today we're going to check out Morgan's Seafood again and check out what they've got there. Here's Mark now.
Yeah, I think you've got a thing for fish and chips. So, and I know that they're not going to be running out of fish and chips anytime soon. So we're pretty well covered.
So just going back over what we discussed last time before I got really sick. Now, don't treat the park like a rubbish dump and go with your rubbish and expect people to pick it up. Because are they going to pick it up? No, they are not. Are they going to be responsible for it? No. Here's Mark.
Yeah, it's much better to be responsible for your own rubbish and do your one tiny little bit for the rest of the community by just keeping your little patch tidy, and then you don't have to worry about anybody else's.
And the same with your dog. Clean up their dog waste as well. Here's Mark.
Well, yeah, that one's even worse because cop a fine if you don't. But again, you know, these parks are beautiful and very user-friendly. And they're user-friendly because, for the most part, people keep them in excellent condition.
Now, I couldn't finish episode 21 because I had no voice. Here's Mark.
That might be a blessing for some of you, but obviously it makes it difficult for Barry to do his show. So, you know, we're back.
We're back. And the good news is I've got plenty of time to bring you some extra shows. And that's a blessing for the Queenslanders. So today we're going to check out Morgan's Seafood again. And we might even do a review on what we get for lunch today, because we didn't actually get to do a review the last time we met. And where we got dropped off in the car park, we met Peter Keith.
Yep, so Pete and Sal, work colleagues, and they just happened to be staying at the caravan park, and while we were standing in the car park looking at the caravans, I said, oh, that black dog looks a lot like Daisy. And it was. So we just happened to be standing right beside their caravan. And we had a little catch up in the car park while we waited for the taxi to come after an hour and a half or whatever it was we waited for them. So yeah, we had a lovely catch up with Pete and Sal.
And the beauty of today is that we can actually finish what we started off with. Now, just getting back to how Mark and I got sick, well,
we don't really know, do we?
We don't really know, so, you know. But
the mysteries of catching COVID. If only we could put a finger on it and say, yeah, it was at this place, but we can't. So we have to remain a mystery.
So the moment I got home from doing the last Scarborough episode, which was on the 14th of June, I think it was, 2 months ago, I had a rapid test and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right on cue, the 2 lines showed up. So that's when production had to stop. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't feel particularly well, and obviously stuck in your room as well. So that didn't help the situation for getting out and being able to do any reporting on anything. So I'm not surprised that you had to put everything on hold, and you certainly don't feel like sharing your misery with everyone.
Well, I did have to do 1 or 2 episodes in that didn't help, so it was not a good 12 days. But on to some positive news. Like Mark and I said, we're going to check out the Morgan Seafood and see what we've got there. They've got there.
You're making me hungry now.
But before we do that, we had a lovely taxi driver brought us over Scarborough, and he was very good. Here's Mark.
Yes, we had a lovely gentleman come and pick us up, and we didn't have to wait too long, even though it was the second company we called. After waiting for the first one for half an hour, and still no sign of even having a taxi booked. So we tried the other company, and when I rang to cancel the first one, they still hadn't found a taxi. So we would have been waiting a long time.
So, just going over what happened just a little bit, okay? I won't go into too much detail on the show because I will get quite emotional. So, as you know, I am the only person at the house at the moment, but that's all I will say at this point of time. But getting back to the positive side, we must remember the good times that we had with someone. Here's Mark now.
Yeah, it's been a tragedy. One of Barry's housemates passed away very unexpectedly, and so apart from the shock of having someone pass away unexpectedly, he was a friend and a housemate, and obviously take it pretty hard. So it's been a difficult time for you.
And here's to you, Marty. This show is dedicated to you, mate, because I know you love to get out and about, so I'm dedicating part of this program to you. And may you rest in peace, mate. Here's Mark.
Yes, it's a fitting tribute. You're right, Marty did love to get out and socialise, and you will miss him. So, as you say, rest in peace.
So after the break, we will come back and do a fish and chip review, and we might even do a review outside the shop.
Well, we can sit inside the eating area and do a review while we're there.
Yep, so coming up after the break, guys, get your plates, knives and forks.
I was going to say, just get your serviettes because we're not sharing.
Get your serviettes, guys, because we're about to see what Morgan Seafood has in store for not just Mark and myself, but for you as well.
For anyone that wants to be there.
For anyone that wants to be there, come along to Morgan Seafood. You will love it, guys. So if you're ever in the Scarborough area, guys, whip on in, because that's what we're going to do. And we'll be back with you after the break.
See you soon.
You are watching episode 27 of this special program now, and a fitting tribute to my flatmate. Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Promised you were pleased here at Morgan Seafood, and you are about to get it. So on the menu today we have 4 scallops, some flathead, and a serve of chips. Mark now to show you that.
Yep, so we've placed our order and we're in the ever-present queue waiting for our number to be called, and yeah, as Barry said, we've got some flathead, sea scallops and chips on the way. Looking forward to it.
And we might even show you when we get it. So
Before we eat it all.
So this is the Morgan Seafood place here. Here it is there. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so we're at Morgan Seafood at Scarborough. It's a lovely little spot on the marina, and it has a beautifully covered outside seating area for anyone that wants to just grab their takeaway and come and sit here and eat. And then, you know, beautiful view over the water, as I said, and it's a very, very attractive place to come. Lots of facilities.
And you've also got the boat club there, and $8 breakfast on Sunday morning, so if you're ever up early, drop on down to the boat club. They've got an $8 breakfast there. Here's Mark.
Yes, I said to Barry, I've never been, but I've always been keen to go to the boat club, but it's, you know, not being a member and not being a frequent visitor, I've just never taken the opportunity.
So, this is a selection of what you can get here. It's showing you what you can get here. Just look at that. So, you can get oysters, scallops, prawns, the lot. Here's Mark.
Yep, the full selection, and because it is in fact attached to the marina and they do have their own trawlers, everything is absolutely fresh.
So, if you're ever down here, guys, come on down to Morgan Seafood. Here's Mark.
I really don't know what else to add to that other than give it a crack.
Okay, so what's here? So we're going to talk about a seafood basket. What is it now? A seafood basket, guys, is basically a mixture of prawns, scallops and oysters and calamari. Here's Mark.
I was going to say they call it a trawler pack here. So the trawler pack has the prawns, scallops, fish, chips, bread rolls, sauce, all together. So a little bit of everything.
And if you're ever down here, there's the address there. There you go. And there's the children's playground as well. Here's Mark.
Yeah, as I said, it's got lots of facilities, particularly this outdoor eating area that they built. There are, in fact, multiple pavilions with seating for a very substantial number of people. Basically, you can order from the table or just go and order takeaway and come and sit out here. Up to you how you want to work it. There's a beautiful park across the street as well, so a beautifully kept park, lawns are lovely, lots of shade, seating areas, parking areas, so as well as the facilities that the Morgans has itself, there's also a lot of room outside of the facility for those people that either want to have a large group and sit on their own in the park or just prefer to go and sit in the park.
So, like I said last time, I couldn't finish episode 21 because of my voice. Here we go. Here's Mark, I should say.
Yeah, well, Barry lost his voice and, well, you lost the will to finish the video at the end of the day because you were just too unwell. So, it's good to be back and, I'm sure you'll enjoy today's fish and chips more.
Yep, so just going over what we're going to have. I'm having the flathead today. With some chips. Here's Mark now.
Yep, well, flathead, few sea scallops and a few chippies. I wish I didn't love chippies as much as I do, but that's life.
So when our order is called, we will show you what we've got and give you a review on this and install.
There you go.
So this is a much better episode than the last one that we did. Here's Mark.
Yep, the frame of mind's a lot better, that's for sure. So, as long as I'm sure Barry's going to be enjoying his food a lot more than last time, where it was more function.
More function and all of that. So guys, episode 21 did not get off to a good start that day, I can tell you that. That's landing behind us now. And we're about to bring you wonderful photos. Here's Mark now.
Well, all I can say is I'm just looking forward to the number getting called now. I didn't think I was as hungry as I was until I placed the order.
So while we're waiting for our order, let's show you some of the boats we've got there.
All right, so this is a little view of some of the facilities that Morgan's have. As I said, multiple pavilions with seating for a lot of people and right on the marina. So beautiful aspect.
And the sign there, please do not feed the birds. Let's show you that sign. Sign there is right.
They're just showing you one to give you a hint of which birds in particular not to feed.
Well, it is very important, guys, not to feed the animals. Here's marking them.
They're extremely well fed as it is, and they want for nothing, and they do become a genuine pest.
A very big pest. So I mean, if you're ever in the Scarborough area, guys, just take a look, have a look. Don't sit at home doing nothing on a beautiful Monday. Any day will work. But remember, once you are finished with your cardboard boxes, dispose of it in the bin. If it's not in the bin, it is on you. Here's Mark.
This plays into the whole littering issue, and obviously the message has been getting across, because the parks, even though it is very well used, it's a very clean place and a lovely place to visit. The parks are exceptionally well cared for.
But don't be a tosser, guys, and go with your rubbish, because that is littering the park. And you will get a fine if you don't clean up. Here's Mark.
Well, just avoid the fine by not leaving a mess.
Because like we said on episode 21, okay, don't ever litter parks. There's no reason. There's no reason to. Here's Mark.
Yep, so this is a stunning place, as I said, and well worth the trip for anyone that just wants to, get outside for a little while. There is a mountain of room. It's easy to get a park. There's facilities like this that provide, food, etc. While you're here, and the parks are absolutely beautiful for anyone that just wants to get outside and have a bit of fresh air and get around.
And it's a good way of getting rid of some of this grief as well. Here's Mark.
Well, you want to keep yourself a little bit busy and try and be normal rather than wallow in sorrow. So whilst it's a terrible thing that's happened, you need to continue on with your life and doing what you've got to do.
So we might take a break and bring you back when our food arrives.
Sounds good.
And the time is now. What time is it?
2:45.
42. We've still got an hour of this program to go, so don't you go away and we'll have more about our coverage here at Scarborough with Mark and myself. It's Monday, the 11th of July, and we're back in action, guys. So stick around, there's more to come.
All right. Pause for.
Okay, guys, here we go. Got our water here. The chips and the scallop and the pig. Get Mark now.
All right. So all that remains for us to do now is eat it and then tell you about it, whilst not sharing any of it.
So let's start off with some of this lovely crumb fish.
Go if you like, Barry. Hang on, I'll chop up a bit more.
Yeah. You have the scallops, man.
Do you want to try one?
Yeah, I'll just try one.
There you go.
So, this is the scallop here, guys. So, this here is a flathead.
Only if you catch it.
What have you got, Mark?
Basically the same. So I didn't separate it out. Do have a passion for scallops. Do I pause while we eat?